This video is dedicated to those who want to improve their lives, even if their current situation, emotions, or life in general aren't ideal. In fact, when I say not ideal, I'm understating it. Many people are experiencing hardships, suffering, and sadness regarding finances, career, health, love, and more. This video is specifically for those people. The inspiration for this video came from a comment by a friend on my channel. I'll show the comment in the middle of the screen. As you can see, I've hidden the person's name. They shared with me their frustration about having to drop out of electrical school halfway through and return home due to a medical condition. They're now stuck at home for treatment, feeling sad and hopeless about their career and health. They feel like everything is falling apart and don't know what to do. This is just one example of a difficult situation in life, and there are many others involving career, family, and various other aspects. Every time I read these kinds of stories, I'm deeply moved. I often make videos to offer emotional support, show that I'm listening, and suggest solutions, principles, rules, life skills, etc. that people can use to overcome challenges, turn negativity into positivity, and move forward in life. This is the mission I hope to achieve in this video. So how do we deal with difficult situations in life? Personally, I have a funny analogy that I think is very important, even crucial in my life. It has saved me during many difficult, desperate, and lonely times when I had to struggle and navigate through the harsh sea of life alone. The analogy is this. When I feel down, I look into the refrigerator. This is interesting, so listen carefully. I came up with this idea. I often watch cooking videos online, and I love them. You'll often see a common theme in these videos, both Vietnamese and foreign, where the content creator opens the refrigerator and cooks whatever they find inside. I really enjoy this type of content because people can create dishes that sometimes aren't found in cookbooks and are entirely dependent on what's available in the refrigerator. It's a seemingly trivial image, but I've learned a very important lesson from it. Many people look into the refrigerator wanting to cook a certain dish and see that they're missing this or that ingredient, so they can't cook it. They only see what they lack. On the other hand, some people look into the refrigerator and see leftover tofu, eggs, chili peppers, some spices, a few scallions, some cilantro, and leftover rice. They see enough ingredients to cook a delicious fried rice dish. The funny thing about the refrigerator is that it's like life. When we look at our lives and say that we're unhappy because we lack this or that, we'll never be able to cook a delicious dish for our lives because we only focus on what we don't have. When we focus on what we don't have, we feel discouraged. We compare ourselves to others who have what we don't, and we feel sad, jealous, and our self-esteem decreases. We see our lives going downhill. We don't realize that everyone has their own problems, and sometimes happiness in the present moment is very important. It's like being hungry and opening the refrigerator to see what's there. Here's an important tip for living happily. Don't think that your life is lacking this or that. Everyone knows this, and it's easy to feel that way. Poor people feel they lack money, single people feel they lack love, and weak people feel they lack health. But have you ever started looking at your life from a different perspective, with a different question? That question is, what can I do with my life and what I have? This is very important. Look into the refrigerator and see the ingredients you have. You can absolutely cook a unique dish, maybe even one that doesn't exist in the world. If you have a bit of culinary talent, you'll enjoy the process of cooking that dish, even if it lacks some ingredients. Life is the same. On the other hand, if you open the refrigerator in the middle of the night, starving, and see that you lack ingredients, you'll start wishing you had this or that. In the end, you'll stay hungry and tired, unable to sleep. Meanwhile, the person who starts with the question, what do I have, and how can I use what I have to make my life better, has already eaten and is satisfied. So, let's start our lives. Let's start a journey upward with an important question. What can I do with what I have? That's our capital. That's what we surely have in our hands, and we have to build upon that foundation, upon what we already possess. We can't keep thinking about what we don't have and how to change our lives without starting from what we already have. Now, back to the story of the young man who shared his concerns earlier. He's only 20 years old and understandably confused, even panicked and frustrated when facing a situation he never wanted. But his life isn't over. He can still turn things around by starting with the thought of what he has and how he can use it to change his life. At the very least, he has a phone and time. That's what he has, and does he know how valuable that is? He can spend all day learning a new skill or subject. This is the golden age of knowledge work and intellectual labor, the golden age of IT and content creation. He can order a book online about how to make YouTube videos, TikTok videos, or how to sell things online. He can choose one thing he likes and spend all day learning it. Who can compete with him? If he looks at his resources, he'll see that they're huge. He has a phone and unlimited time. He should be optimistic about his life because he has something that others may not have. With dedication and effort, he can become an expert in something within 6 months. If he doesn't know what to do, he can search online for legitimate work-from-home jobs. There are many hot jobs available now. He can ask Google or ChatGPT. So, instead of sitting around all day feeling bored and sorry for himself, he can turn his situation into an advantage, into capital, just with one initial thought. What can I do with what I have? And that's not even considering that his medical condition might allow him to stay home without anyone criticizing or looking down on him. People might even sympathize with and care for him. I'm not trying to find a silver lining or offer empty encouragement. Everyone knows his situation. But we also understand that if he continues to sit there and feel sad, what will the consequences be? He'll reach 21, 22, 23, 4, 25 years old, without a career, without any expertise, without anything, while right now he has an endless amount of free time to learn about intellectual work. Honestly, with 10 to 12 hours of free time a day, if he diligently studies programming, English, marketing, or anything else, the speed of his progress will be incredible. When he looks back on his life and sees that he has capital, not nothing, he'll feel that life is okay, not as bad as he thought. He has something to work with. Now, with capital, if he puts in effort, time, and dedication, he'll succeed. There are countless examples of people who overcame adversity. Helen Keller couldn't see, but she still became famous and inspirational. There are many others. So, I don't want to give advice like just be positive without any action. I don't like that kind of thing. But I also don't like a negative and pessimistic view that sees life as over. The important thing is to have a balance. Be positive for a real reason and know how to use that positivity to change your situation. That's the difference. So, with all my heart, I wish him a speedy recovery and hope he knows how to use his resources to change his situation. Accept your sadness, but don't spend all day being sad. Know how to use what you have that others don't or don't have as much of. In today's world, a phone is like a global university in front of you, and there's no reason for us not to be knowledgeable in this day and age. This is also a personal story that I won't share publicly because it came through a private email. In recent years, I've received many similar questions from single mothers. These friends often express feelings of anger, resentment, and sometimes even hatred towards their children. They ask me what to do. The initial principle is still the story of looking into the refrigerator. Your refrigerator is now empty in the middle of the night. You're starving and want to eat something, but all you have are a few scallions, some soy sauce, a few chili peppers, and leftover rice. So, what do? You can make fried rice with scallions. I used to eat rice with soy sauce and realized that soy sauce has a slightly sour taste and isn't too bad. Of course, it's rare for a refrigerator to have only scallions. I'm speaking metaphorically here. It's rare for someone's life to have only one scallion. In reality, there might still be a piece of meat. Of course, it's very rare for a refrigerator to only have onions left. I'm speaking metaphorically about life. I know that in reality, your refrigerator might be empty, and that's normal. But metaphorically, it's rare for someone's life to only have one companion left. In reality, there might still be some meat, some onions, garlic, and dried fish. Let's go back to the case of single mothers. You shouldn't, or if you can't stop, at least reduce focusing on what you don't have. Everyone knows you don't have a good husband, someone to confide in, or can't sleep well because your child keeps crying. And why does the child keep crying? Maybe during pregnancy, your mood was always angry and it affected the child. So now the child cries all the time. You can't sleep, your hair falls out, and you feel uglier than before you had a family. You don't have peace because of the broken marriage, and you can't comfortably love someone else because now you're labeled as divorced. I'm not saying these thoughts are true or right. I'm just describing the perspective of those involved. This is how they interpret their lives and tell me about it. Reading this, who wouldn't sympathize and feel sorry for them? But we can't just stop at sympathizing and feeling sorry because it won't solve anything in the long run. Sometimes we need a solution, and the solution starts with looking at our lives from a different perspective. What can I do with what I have? It's different, you see. When we reflect on our lives, we realize, I have a job. I have a child, right? At least my health is still okay. I have things too. And when we shift to that perspective, we'll see if tonight I don't have anyone to go out with, no one cares about my life, I can still play snakes and ladders with my child. And what's the meaning of that action? I'm giving my child a childhood, the closeness with their mother. We're spending time together, laughing, having fun, being happy together. I can play hopscotch with my child, play statues, jump rope with them. Why not? And children are very healing. They not only make us happy and energize us, but they also teach us many lessons that we have to learn in return. If you can enjoy playing with children, you'll find that you like playing with them more than adults, and it will heal your soul a lot. Why don't you do that instead of throwing them an iPad and holding your phone, consuming a bunch of information online, making your life more boring? A whole evening passes with the child on an iPad, the mother on her phone. From 8 p.m. to midnight, 1 a.m., 4 hours straight without any connection, even though you're living in the same house. That's very unfortunate. Neither you nor your child is happier. Of course, I understand why you live like that. Holding the phone aimlessly, scrolling through this and that, clearly shows disappointment and suffering. Everyone sees, understands, and sympathizes. No one criticizes these things, really, but it doesn't help your life completely. And if someone cares about you, like me, after reading that, I feel so sorry that I offer an opinion. Sometimes people hear it and feel it might be contrary to their perspective. And I don't have much hope because I'm expressing a viewpoint entirely based on the listener's benefit. But there's no guarantee that they'll feel my opinion is good for them. So let's just blame it on fate. If it's meant to be, these methods might be helpful for your life. If not, maybe there's another way. We can still be happy in a certain state, at a certain time, in a certain moment, if we start with what we have. And this is magical. It's like light, because if you can be happy in 1 hour, it means you can't be unhappy in the same hour, right? One increases, the other decreases. Open the fridge, see what's left. It might not be much, but it teaches us something. Flexibility, learning, improving. Because these ingredients might not be the standard ones for a dish, but it's okay. I'll be creative, I'll find out, I'll find a way. Just like I once discovered, oh my god, fried rice with cardamom and chili is amazing. How could I have discovered that by chance if the seasoning jar wasn't empty, right? And you see, your life only goes up. Just one perspective change can almost completely transform your present and future life. And I wish all of you great happiness in the new year. Our program is quite long, so thank you very much for listening to me. Thank you, and thank you. And I hope this content will bring some benefit to the lives of those who watch and listen to the program. Goodbye, everyone.